Morning, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. You're joining me and my dad at Limbrick Fishery today, and just to set the scene for you, it's a rainy morning and it's going to be raining throughout the day. It always seems to rain when I come to Limbrick for some reason. I've not actually been fishing in about 4 weeks. It won't seem like that on the channel because I've got a bit of a build up of videos that I've been posting every week. But yeah, I've not been fishing for about 4 weeks, so I'm really excited to get the rods out. We're going to be method feeder fishing, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of a bait test today. Temperature today is about 15 degrees. I've seen lots of patches of bubbles coming up all over the lake, which is an absolute fabulous sign. I've just been talking to the owner and we might run into a little bit of trouble in this peg because there's actually a brolly in the water down here sunken, he's told me, that somebody's let escape. So there's a brolly down there somewhere, so we're going to either have to avoid that, or if we hook it we'll have to try and get it out, because that'll be a free brolly, won't it? Who doesn't want a free brolly? But hopefully we don't lose the fish down there. As you know, there's some absolute chunks in Limbrick, so I'm fishing nice and heavy. I am using my Shimano Speedmasters and I am going to be fishing with 2 rods. I know that some of you don't like me fishing 2 rods, but I feel very safe doing so. I'm fishing nice and strong, so I'm confident that if we get a fish that goes towards this aerator or anything like that, I'm going to be able to get it out. I'm actually fishing 10-pound main line, and the hook lengths that I've got tied up ready to go here are 9-pound Guru Engage, so nice and strong, nice big size 12. I'm going to be using 8mm wafters. But the bait test that we're going to be doing today is a really interesting one, and one that I've been wanting to try for a while. I've got my normal fishery 2mm there, just a standard fish meal pellet, and I've got my AquaStim F1 Supreme sweet fish meal there, and I'm going to be interested to see which does better. So I'm going to be using both types of pellets today. I'm going to have one on one rod and one on the other, so it's going to be interesting to see which gets the most fish. These have a lot of flavour and they've got a lot of attractants in them, and they've got a lot of smell, so I am expecting these to do a lot better, but we don't know until we try it. It could make absolutely no difference whatsoever, so I'm really interested for this one. If you haven't already tried AquaStim in the 2mm, they're absolutely awesome for method feeder fishing. I've caught absolutely everywhere on them. They're superb, my favourite pellets. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether it actually matters, because obviously these are a lot cheaper than the AquaStim. That bag there was about £2.50, and obviously AquaStim's quite a bit more expensive, but you don't need to use attractants with these. They're already packed into the pellets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a method feeder out on these and a method feeder out on these, and then I'm going to swap them over halfway through the day so that we know the fur. I'm going to use the same hook baits on both. I'm going to keep as many variables as I can the same, so that it's a fur test. Obviously when you're fishing there's so many variables, it's impossible to keep all the variables right and all the variables the same. So at the end of the day, this is just a bit of fun. It's just to make things a little bit more entertaining to watch, and it'll be interesting to see whether we get any kind of conclusion from this. Personally, I don't think we're going to get any kind of conclusion from this. I think we're going to have to do this over a few sessions and really put it to the test. I've actually bought 2 of these clickers, these counters off eBay, so we're going to be able to tally up when we get a fish on each rod, and it's going to be fur. So what I'm going to count is, I'm still going to count it if we lose a fish. Hopefully we won't lose any fish today, because the last time I were here, if you watched the video, I did lose a carp, and it was a good carp as well. So hopefully we managed to land everything we hooked today. It's always gutting when you lose one, but that's fishing at the end of the day. It does happen. If you haven't already seen that video, I will put a link to it in the top right hand corner for you. So I've already got everything set up. Rods are set up and together. I just need to put hook lengths on them. I'm going to mix these pellets up, which I'll go through with you now, and we'll keep them separated. I've got the blue tub there, that's for the normal plain pellets, and then I've got this tub here for the AquaStim. I'm going to soak them for the same length of time. Feeders that I'm just going to be using today, I'm just going to be using a Preston Innovations normal method feeder, like that one there, 45 grams in the small size, and baits 8mm wafters, either pink wafters or mainline cell wafters. Right folks, let's get into it and get these pellets mixed up. I've put you on bank stick cam so I can use my hands. Might be a bit of a weird angle, but I'm sure you'll manage to see what we're doing. Always take your litter with you. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my pellet wetter up with the AquaStim. We'll mix these up first. Mixing some up for my dad as well. He's not getting involved in any silly bait tests today, he's just fishing with the AquaStim. And I'll show you if my dad catches anything today as well. I bet it's going to be a good day's fishing, to be honest with you. Right, let's get some water in there. And we're just going to keep them submerged there for about 15-20 seconds. Completely covered. Give them a bit of a push and a shake just so that water's evenly distributed through the pellets. And then we're going to do the exact same with the plain 2 mils. We're not putting any attractants or anything on them. They're just going to be as they are. Fresh bag of AquaStim as well. They're not cheap, guys, but I do really recommend them. So just soaking them. That's literally all you need at this time of year. I'm just going to drain off that water and I'm going to get rid of that. What I usually do is just put it down the margin where I'm going to be fishing, because that's got a lot of attractants in there. I'm just going to tip these out now into my tub. My dad can have half of them. You got your bait tub, Dad? And I'm going to do the same again with the normal pellets. Just give some of these to me, Dad, so we can get going. The pellet wetter is not essential, guys, but I do find that it really does help get the feeder pellets perfect. And as soon as this is done, we can literally get fishing. Like I said, I'm going to be fishing 2 rods today. I'm going to have one over to this far banking on the other side, and I'm going to have one down here next to the aerator where I had quite a lot of fish last time. Weirdly, these pellets have gone soapy. They're going to be about right there. You definitely don't want to overdo them. That's the worst thing you can do. So 20 seconds in one of them pellet wetters in summer is fine. They tend to need a little bit longer in winter because osmosis happens quicker. That's a posh word for you all. When water penetrates through the pellets when it's warmer. So there we go. Some of them mixed up as well. Right folks, so clickers are on. I'm going to start off with the plain pellets over towards this little outcrop of reeds on the other bank, and I'm going to start off with the AquaStim underneath the tree. And if I swap them over, then obviously I'll swap the clickers over. These clickers, I've just bought them off eBay, very cheap. They worked out about £1.50 each, so they can be pretty handy, especially if you're fishing matches and stuff like that. And hopefully they don't fall off and go in the water today. I'm expecting that. They're not very secure on there, but it'll be right. So that's what we're starting off. Pellets are mixed up. I've got my mould there. My dad's actually using a mix of both, so it'll be interesting to see if the mix does any better. Obviously it could be peg related, so that's not really a fair variable. So I'm ready to get fishing. In case any of you are wondering what the price difference is, I've worked it out for you just now. So it's £4 a kilogram for the AquaStim as opposed to the £2.50 a kilogram for the plain fishery pellets. So obviously quite a bit cheaper, but I really do think it's worth paying the extra, but we'll see if it's justified. So I have managed to secure a little bit of a discount code off AquaStim. It's not much, but it's better than nothing for my subscribers, and it's WestysAngling 5, okay? I'll put it in a link in the description as well, and a link to these pellets in case you wanted to bulk buy some for method feeder fishing. Oh no, it's come off already. That's not a good start, is it? Let's put these clickers on the floor, just so we're not losing them under each rod. We'll be able to keep a running total on the video anyway. The clickers are more for visual effect than anything. Let's get this one out first under the tree. Check my drag. I want my drag fairly tight here because I'm going to be fishing fairly tight to that aerator. I've not used my Preston Innovations method feeders for a while, so it'd be nice to use these this session. We'll start both off on the pink wafters. Oh no! I'm out of pink wafters in that tub. Have you got any 8mm pink wafters, Dad? My dad just had his first bite. I've managed to procure some 8mm pink wafters off my dad because I'd run out. I've only got yellows and oranges left in that tub. Right, let's stop faffing about and get some rods out. These method pellets are perfect. They still retain the shape, but they're nice and sticky. I'm going to bury the hook bait in the pellets. This is the AquaStim. You can see the AquaStim because they're darker. Perfect. Now, if it gets to the point where I'm struggling with 2 rods today, I might have to call the test quits. The ducks can be a bit of a pain here at Limbrick, as you all know if you watch my videos. Some of the OG followers on the channel will be able to tell you why. I need to be careful on this peg as well, it's a bit slippy. But it's an awesome fishery, Limbrick. I really do recommend it. I'll put the address in the description for everybody. They do have little cabins here as well, so you can stay over if you wanted to. These normal fishery pellets seem to bind together a little bit stronger than the AquaStim. Seem to be a little softer. Right, it's going to be difficult because of the brolly. I might have to stand up to cast to this. It's just going to be a little over arm and lob. I just want it as close as I can to them far reeds. Absolutely perfect. Don't think I could have got a better cast there if I wanted to. Could have done with a little bit more of an angle there on my rods over to the far side, but I'll still get a decent bite indication there, I think. I don't want this line that's going here close in mega tight. You want a little bit of give in it, the line, just in case a fish brushes against it. Just had a bit of a tug then already over to that far banking. I need to be really paying attention today because this is the kind of fishery where your rods can get ripped in. Not so much for me because I've got these really secure rear butt rests, and also I've got bait runners on my rods. So if I did happen to hook something decent on one rod and then I got a bite on my other rod, I can put my bait runners on. That's why I fish with bait runners while I'm filming. Or if I was filming something that my dad was doing. A few of you have been saying, you know, why am I going over filming my dad when I'm fishing, so on and so forth. But I really do take precautions. The safety of the fish is our utmost concern, and obviously filming comes second. Now I've put my unhooking mat in the middle of us here so we can see when my dad gets a decent fish. This is a lovely fish that he's just caught. Something really different. Hopefully he lands it and we'll be able to show you. Just going to quickly show you this fish that my dad's got. I've put my bait runners on, like I've said. Look at this thing. There's some absolutely beautiful fish here at Limbrick. Very different. This one's got a little bit of koi in it by the looks of it. Really pale mirror carp. Nice fish, Dad, good start.
AquaStim.
On the AquaStim. I'm going to have to be careful with these normal coarse fishery 2mm, but I don't squeeze them on too tight because they are very soft. Absolutely perfect, these casts. I've got my eye in with it. Just a nice little lob. And I'm just gently tightening up. I try not to subconsciously put the wrong pellets on each rod. And like I said, halfway through the day we'll swap over so that we know that it's not the area that's producing the fish. We know that it's the particular pellets. And if I swap the hook bait, I'll swap the hook bait on both. I'm getting little twitches on both rods, but neither of them's gone round yet. There's a lot of activity over there where I am, but I just keep getting these little pulls, which could be bream or small carp. So if I had to put a bet on which rod was going to go around first, it's probably going to be this left hand one with the plain pellets on. Well, if there's one way to get a bite, it's to pour a brew. So let's try that. Early start for me today. It was a 5:15 AM start to get to Chorley for about 6:45. Like I said to you before, the fishing comes first. I'm just a normal guy out on a day's fishing. This is my only fishing session in the week. I only manage to go once a week, sometimes even once every 2 weeks. So I've got to make the most of it when I can. So the fishing comes first and the filming and the bait challenges come second. But I do like to do these little tests. It keeps it interesting, keeps it fun for me, and it keeps it entertaining for you guys as well. So this is why we're getting these little plucks. Those coarse fishery 2 mils aren't dissolving properly. They're very wet, they've gone quite mushy, which isn't good. Whereas the AquaStim have retained the form. Oh, you cheeky. Look at that. Having my pellets away. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly press them on this time. And I'm not actually going to bury the bait in the feeder. See, that's why we're getting them little plucks but no bites. It shows you that you can't really cheap out on pellets, guys. Pay the money, get some proper method feeder pellets, because you will notice the difference. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bury that hook in the top there, just so a fish can pull that bait off. I'll just put just a couple of 2 mils over the top of it, just to secure it in place for the cast. So I'm just going to pop this out gently. Oh, spooked a fish there, so there's definitely fish in that swim. So the cheap 2 mils, the normal coarse fishery 2 mils, have actually, when you press them on the feeder, they lose the form and they mush together, which isn't good. Now I only soaked them for 15 seconds, which is plenty, you know what I mean? Like I didn't over wet them. Same amount of time as the we're in. You see, that's the difference. The fish couldn't take them before because, I'm going to put you on the other camera. It was a good take. As I was saying to you, the fish couldn't take the bait before because the hook was stuck in the pellets. Feels like a weighty fish, this. Now the tricky thing is, because this is a tight swim, there's going to be a land in it around this other rod, and avoiding that broiler that's under the water as well. I have to keep my rod high and get it up and over that. I need to put my bait runner on the other rod. I'm not ready. It's a good mirror count this, I think. Ooh. Very tight swim. Very tough to fish 2 rods here. Don't recommend it. for the beginners out there. You need a nice open water swim when you're fishing 2 rods. Boom. Oh, we've got it. First fish in the net. There we go, folks. First fish. Lovely pale mirror carp. Hooked perfectly in the side of the mouth. And it shows you the difference a couple of alterations can make. I just literally pressed the hook into the top of the feeder and it allowed the fish to take it. It was stuck in the pellets before. Good first fish, good start. Probably about £5, something like that. Right, let's get this rod back out. So that's one on the plain pellets, but I think it's more the area, to be honest, but we'll see. Right folks, so I'm just going to make a couple of alterations just to make it easier to play and land fish. But can you see all them pellets have turned into mush? That's not ideal, but it is the pellets that we've got the fish on, so maybe they like the mushy pellets. All I did that time was load up the method feeder as normal. Put a few more on there. So loaded up the method feeder as normal, and then I literally just push the hook into the top of the pellets just to make it easier for the fish to take it. And that pink wafter is just going to be a beacon, and then I put a few pellets just around the line just to hold it in position for the cast. But that hook bait on top is going to be a beacon for the carp. And the alterations that I've made here, I've moved this feeder arm round, so it's going to give me a bit of space there to land and net fish, and I'll be able to keep them down this side rather than over here where it's going to catch more of the line. I've got a big run there where I can net fish and play fish. Very tricky sometimes fishing 2 rods. So if you're a beginner, start off with 1, definitely. Absolutely perfect cast again. Not clipped up. I would not clip up here. It's too many big fish. I think that rod will go off pretty quick again. I'm in again. Over to the other side. Really good take. I think it'll probably be another one of them mirrors. Just going to keep it in this little space that I've got. If it was a really decent fish, I've obviously got my dad here to get my other rod out of the water if I needed to. But we're fine for now. Oh, it's pulled out. Damn. Giving it too much stick. Well, I'm counting that as 1 for the pellets, as 1 for the plain pellets, even though I didn't land it, but we still caught the fish on them, so it counts. That was another one of them mirrors, probably a similar size to that first one, maybe a little bit smaller. I think it's probably the far side that's being productive rather than the pellets, personally. But we'll swap them over in a minute, and we'll test that theory. Need to keep it fur. Usually it's this aerator swim that's productive, but doesn't seem to be the case today. If you're wondering why I lost that one, it's because I was giving it too much stick under the rod tip. Should have took my time a little bit more with it. Too busy looking at what I was filming and not what I was doing with the rod. You do lose fish when you're doing this and you're filming. Definitely makes it more difficult. The amount of fish I've lost when I've been looking to see whether I've been recording or not. Recast the aerator rod. Next cast I'll swap them over as well, and we'll also obviously swap over the clickers. I'm going to do the same thing with this one as well, and just push the hook into the top. But you can see how the AquaStim pellets have retained the form. They still look like pellets even when they're crushed up together. They don't break up. That's a high quality pellet, whereas these, they don't. Push them together and they turn into mush, start breaking down. Even I'm learning things from this. I didn't foresee that being a problem, but it obviously is. Right, let's try and get this round a bit more. There we go. Thought this one would have gone round again by now. There's obviously carp over there. They'll be patrolling that far bank and they probably feel safer pushed out a little bit further. Whether you'll be able to see this or not on a GoPro, but there's actually plumes of silk coming up just here out from my feet. I'm wondering if that's where potentially the brolly is, around that kind of area, and the fish are feeding around it. Who knows? So I'm just going to drop a rig down here. This is really close range method feeder fishing, so I'm going to have to be straight on it if we get a fish. Down there. Again, sticking with the AquaStim on this side. I've had nothing under that aerator, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to try just a little bit further out from the tree, just a touch further out from the aerator rather than close into it, see if that makes any kind of difference. But this I'm just going to drop right here, right under my feet, because there's plumes of silk coming up, and I bet that won't take long to go around. So much silk being thrown up. They're definitely feeding right underneath the rod tip, around the side of these reeds here. So close in. Even when the weather's dull like this, it doesn't have to be blazing hot for you to catch them close in the margins. They'll go where they feel safe feeding, and a lot of the times that's probably less than a foot out from the bank. I knew I'd get a fish down there at some point. One of these good mirrors. That is literally a foot away from my rod tip, right down here in the side. Hopefully we don't lose this one. This is one for the AquaStim. Keep getting plugs on that other one. Put the bait runner on it. It's a bit of an awkward swim in terms of the shape of it with this little bay. Got to kind of get around the bay, but not go into the tree. So I'm bullying it in. Don't want to give it too much stuff, I will lose it like that other one. It's coming in now. Melting. One for the AquaStim. It's a good fish, that. They're always the bigger fish that are right at your feet as well. Right. Just going to put it down here in the margin a second. And I'm actually going to just take my other rod in and we'll have a look at this fish. I need to recast it anyway. And then we'll swap hook bait. We'll go on to the white wafter. Okie doke. Right, let's take a look at this fish. Look at this chunk. Starting to get that rounded football shape in its shoulders. What do you think, Dad? About £8? It's got a big belly on it, hasn't it? Do you think it'll go 9? It's quite a deep fish.
Nice fish though, that.
Big chunk of a thing. Very deep bodied fish. Nice one. We're all in pristine condition here at Limbrick, aren't they, Dad?
Yeah, they are nice.
Lovely fish. Let's keep it that way. And I'll get it back. But yeah, that's one for the AquaStim. Right at my feet, like literally. Couldn't have been any closer in. Look at that thing. So deep bodied that. I don't think it's a double, but certainly a lovely fish. This one I'm going to try back over to the bay. This is one of the reasons I like fishing two rods. It's because I can try different areas. I'm not just stuck to fishing one area. So as an example, if I was fishing only one rod today, I wouldn't have found out that the fish aren't under here, because I'd have fished probably down here most of the day, because I had it in my head that that's the best peg, but or the best area, but the fish are coming from over there today. They're definitely in the margins, close in. It's a little gentle lob. Oh, spooked a fish there as well. A little bit too tight into that far banking. I just could do with it just being a bit further off. All that ends up, if you get too tight in here, it seems that all that ends up happening is you get loads of crap stuck around your hook, like bits of reed and bits of silty debris. Well, I've just looked down and there's plumes of silt back in the margin here, so I'm going to reel in. Ideally I want to be fishing one rod over there now, because I know that there's nothing over here in this area, so I want to be fishing one rod over there towards the far margin and one rod here down in this margin. So it's just going to be a bit awkward. Ooh, he says. Wow, that shot off, didn't it? What was I saying, that there's no fish down that way? Oh dear. Oh no, my phone, everything's going. Luckily it's not massive, so I think I can play it in this little circle. I just need to be careful of them roots. Oh, it's only a little carp. But that's one for the plain pellets. Try and net it over my other rod here. It's the first fish I've had from that side today. It's going for some, for a little fish. Oh, come on, don't do that to me, don't do that to me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey. On the cell wafter that. Right. What a faff. Try and unhook it in a net. Absolutely smashed it. There we go. Get my cell wafted back. Thank you. That's how tight I am. Gone. Dad looks like he's in. Over to the reeds, Dad. I think there's more mirrors in here than commons. Seems to be that way anyway. Just put the drag up a touch. Like I said, rod tip below, get it under my other line. Right, it's a lot easier to play like this. Right at my feet, this. Always the biggest fish. Oh. Mirror carp, I think. Oh, lovely fish. Ah, yes. Oh, that's on the AquaStim. Oh my god, that's a chunk. That's got to be a double. Well, we've got a double here, Dad. I think we've got a double here. Whew. I'm going to bring the other rod in so we can have pictures with this. And we'll put a clicker on for the AquaStim. So 2-3 so far. What do you think? 12? Just what? You just over 10?
10.
Right, let's weigh it. What is it, Dad? 11? Yeah?
11, yeah.
Bob on 11. Cracker. Look at the size of it. Look at the width. There we go, guys. 11 pound. Absolutely pristine mirror carp. Still got loads of energy in. Coming way too quick. Got it. Got it. Show you its other side. Slippery. There we go. Really bonny fish. Right, let's get it back. Again, just off them reeds, right there in the side. Literally right next to the peg. Absolute beast. Well folks, what a lovely fish that was. Hopefully we'll try and get another one. There's some really unusual fish here at Limbrick. They have glass carp in, because I've caught one before. A glass carp is where all the pigmentation has come out of the skin of the carp, and they have like a matte finish on them. They're really weird. They have some nice koi. They have some really unusual fish, fully scaled mirrors and things like that. I think that's one of the reasons that I like fishing here. It's always nice to have some unusual fish to target. And obviously some chunks as well. I think they go to near enough 20 pounds in here. Let's get this back down the margin. So all I'm doing is literally just dropping it there. That's it. Nothing fancy. Keeping a reasonably slack line, because that's going to give us, one, the best bite indication, but also you don't want it too slack because you want the rod tip to be able to set the hook. So you need a little bit of resistance there, but just slack enough that it's not going to spook any fish that's swimming past. Oh no, I'm stuck on a bramble. Oh! So they're 100% in the margins. I'm going to put the normal pellets over there and I'm going to cast back out. What time are we on? So it's 11:15. I'll probably be fishing through till, I don't know, 2-3 o'clock ish, something like that. The weather front's coming in at 1 o'clock. It's going to absolutely chuck it down. That's a really good cast. Oh my gosh. Did you see that, folks? You see, I knew that was a good cast. It was just in the perfect place. This is where I was getting them last time. So this is on the normal pellets. I've knocked this other rod out of the way. Such aggressive takes here. Still taking line. If you're not confident in being able to handle the situation and getting a rod out of the way, then don't fish 2 rods. It's another nice mirror, not as big as that last one. Yes. So that's another one on the normal pellets. That's 4-2 to the normal pellets. There we go. You've got the idea. It's a mirror carp. Let's get this back out. Over to the far banking. It's amazing, you get it bob on and you get a fish straight away. It's like the perfect place is about a foot out from that peak where the reeds are. Oh, see, that's a bit tight, but I don't think it's too bad. It must there must be a bit of a drop off or something that they like, and the fact that we're only fishing close in here means that I can just swing the rod out the way if I need to. AquaStim on this one. Starting to rain now. Just keeping an eye on that other rod. Good chance of it going round pretty quick, I think. But again, if I'm not on that little drop off or whatever they're attracted to there, then I probably won't. This rain's really coming down now. Just put bank stick cam on the other side. Hopefully you can see what's going on there. It's a lovely fishery here at Limbrick. Really well maintained. I like this peg as well, it's really enclosed. I do like fishing in the rain though. I think I've said this on one of my videos. I just find it very peaceful being under a brolly. Your odds are out. I'm going to take this time as well to say I've got a good stock of merch. Caps like this one with the orange brim. So I'll put a link to that in the description for you. If you wanted to grab yourself some and support the channel. And if you don't, you don't. It's no problem. Videos are free to watch. And if you manage to get a couple of tips from them, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and that way you don't miss another video. I'm in down this back margin. It's a good fish, this. Stripping me out. Let me drag up a touch. Might have to get this other rod in. Don't think it's massive, so I'll leave my other rod where it is. That's another one for the normal pellets. They're on 5. Let's put my bait runner on that one. It's another medium-sized mirror, so I'm going to unhook it in the net and just let it go. Still another fish though. I'll take the bait runner off that other margin rod now. Ducks have come down here out of the rain. Crazy, isn't it, how they live in the water and don't want to get wet. It's this one that caught my line in one of my videos, like an arch enemy. Definitely don't feed the ducks, guys, when you're out fishing. I'm going to mix it up again and put one of these brown wafters on. I'll see if that makes a difference. Do you know, having the pellet coloured wafter, sometimes if you go a little bit more subtle, it can produce a pretty quick bite. My little mascot's been sat with me for ages now. Just got a nice roach. Down this margin on the AquaStim. So let's put one on the AquaStim. 3.5. Look at that, nice roach. Well, I just had another fish on the AquaStim, but the hook pulled out again. I don't know why I'm getting hook pulls. Maybe I'm just giving them a little bit too much stick. But either or I've not hooked the fish properly or whatever. Look, it happens. But yeah, that was another fish on the AquaStim. So we're pretty tied up at the moment. We've got 4 on the AquaStim, and we've got 5 on the normal fishery pellets. So at the moment it's telling me it really doesn't matter what you're using. It's probably not what these big bait companies want to hear, but look, it's a fair test. It just shows you that this time of year it probably doesn't really matter, but at the same time you need to use the bait that you've got the most confidence in. So if you like a particular brand of pellets, use them. I'm going to stick with the AquaStim. I'm not going to buy these cheap fishery pellets and use them in my day-to-day method feeder fishing. There's no way. One thing I've noticed is the cheap pellets break down quicker, they turn mushy, whereas the AquaStim are higher quality and they retain the shape and they mold around the feeder better, and also they'll break off the method feeder better. So there's more pros to using the higher quality pellets than there is to using the lower quality pellets. But it's your choice at the end of the day. I'm going to keep fishing and we'll see if we get a few more fish. Last couple of fish have been on these AquaStim F1 sweet fish meal wafters. Good, these. I've had a good success on them at quite a few fisheries now. Just had another roach on the AquaStim. So the neck and neck 5-all. Just swapped the AquaStim over to the island and straight into a fish. There might be benefit in having 2 kinds of pellets, so maybe when they get bored of one or they start getting wary of one kind of pellet, you swap over. It might produce a quick bite. I know that a lot of matchmen do that with different colours and things like that. Dye the pellets. AquaStim's got a 2-point lead, 7 and 5, and then again on the AquaStim over to the far banking. It's either not a big fish or it's only just walking up. That right out of the way. I think this is another one to have a quick look at on the mat. Nice long mirror carp on the F1 8mm sweet wafter. Again, that's a decent fish, probably not far off £8, £7–8. Nice, let's get it back. Caught one of the glass carp. Really bonny fish, look at it. I'll show you what I mean about the pigmentation on the scales. So I think this is what they call a glass carp. Can you see all the pigmentation's gone out of it? Yeah. It's not like a normal common. It's like a matte finish on it. Can you see it? Yeah. Weird. The camera doesn't really pick it up, but yeah, nice one. Yeah. Still think it's sick water, I think. It's raining. Oh no, they're eating all my pellets. Bastards. Duck's eating all my pellets. I have to mix some more up. They've eaten all my AquaStim. I love how they were leaving the other ones and eating all the AquaStim. Look at that. Really special carp. Very different. And a nice common. Immaculate. Ooh. Again. Still thinks it's in water, I think. I'll get it back. That's how long that fish is. And that's a big net. Really special fish. All the pigmentation's gone. You really can't see it on the GoPro, but gone. Woo. That one's down here on the plain pellets. So it's neck and neck. Oh no, it's not. 6 and 7. Look at that duck set on my AquaStim. I'll have to make some more up. Go away. Look at them, they're like, how are you making us some dinner? Get lost. You can have these cheap ones. Oh. Got another roach. Spooked a few carp though still over to that far edge then when I struck into this roach. Another roach dead. So what was that over there? That's the AquaStim, that over to the... No it isn't. So that's a normal coarse fishery pellets over there now. So literally neck and neck, 7 apiece. I actually think a lot of the carp are sat up in the water at the back, just patrolling the edge of that margin. It's another good sized mirror. Come on. Is it ready? Is it ready? Yeah. Ooh. Similar size to the other one, I think, isn't it?
I don't think it's a double that.
Do you not?
No.
I'm going to go just 10. No, it's not, you're right.
8.15.
So nearly £9.
Yeah.
Got it. All on the AquaStim wafters. Lovely fish. That was literally just at my feet again as well. Look at that. Some bloody chunks in here, I tell you. Oh. There's probably some out there that say that we're a 20. Oh, what a good day's fishing. Shit weather, but can't have everything, can you? Right, okay. Let's get these rods back out. So that was one on the normal. So it's 8-7 at the minute. The standard coarse fishery pellets are winning. Again at my feet. Can't believe it. Can't believe I'm getting them so close in here. All good fish as well. Another savage bite. This one's on the AquaStim, so it's neck and neck again. So I'm going to draw my conclusion here and say it doesn't really matter. I don't think it matters whether you're using a sweet flavoured pellet or normal pellet. Just use whatever you have the most confidence in. For me, that's still going to be AquaStim. But if you want to save some money and just use normal fishery pellets and go as cheap as possible, that's alright as well. You're not going to miss out on fish because of it. One thing I will say though, the ducks prefer the AquaStim over the normal pellets. Because they had a choice of 2 tubs and they went straight for the AquaStim. They are so sweet smelling though, so I don't blame them. Right, so bait runners on that one. The vast majority of the fish in here seems to be mirror carp. It's usually the opposite way around in coarse fisheries. Oh. There's the hook. Hook's out. Still a nice mirror. £6-ish, £5-6. I'm getting struck out. Really, now it's through weeds and all sorts. It's a good fish this. I'm back in direct contact with the fish. Oh my god, it had me everywhere, that. Yeah, it's huge. Go on, go on a net, go on a net. size of ghost here, like ghost koi or something. Come in, come in. Oh, yes. Oh. Look at the size of that. Look at how long it is. Oh my god. What are we saying the size of that, Dad? It's a long fish, isn't it?
I'm going
Bonnie colours. What are we saying? What size?
12, I think.
12 pound?
Yeah.
Always carry this carp cur stuff around with you guys. Fought really hard this fish, so it's bleeding a bit in the mouth. It's only a size 12 up though. This should just seal the wound. £12 on the nose. Dad,
Good guess.
really good guess. Absolutely awesome. Whew. Really nice fish on the feeder, that. £12. Get in. One more for the AquaStim. Getting a lead here. 10-7. Whew. Right, so it's 10-7. It's 2 o'clock. Probably got another hour fishing. Maybe not that. Maybe another 3/4 hour fishing. So let's get them out. Let's see if I can get another one. All the big ones have been down here. Literally 30 centimetres out. This is a small carp. Medium-sized F1. Nice fish. That's on the normal pellets. So it's 8-10. AquaStim being on the 10. I'm in the tree, awesome. See folks, happens to the best of us. I'm sure that most YouTubers would edit that out. Okay folks, so I'm going to call it a day there and get packed up. I hope you've enjoyed this little bait test. To summarise, the AquaStim ended on 10 and the normal fishery pellets ended on 8. So there's not a big enough gap there to draw any kind of conclusions from. If you haven't been to Limbrick Fishery, I really do recommend it. Like I said, I've had some lovely fish. I always seem to when I come fishing here. If you don't live local as well, they have these little pods over there that you can actually stay in. You can pre-book those and you can fish any of the lakes. So if you fancy it, come on down, give it a go. Like I said, I'll put the address in the description for you. But I've been really chuffed with today's fishing. Even though the weather's not been great, I've had a lovely day out. Oh, wow. Well, this is going to be a good fish to end on. Let's see if I can land it. Always when I'm doing an outro, it's a typical outro fish. I tell you what folks, if this isn't worth a subscribe, I don't know what is. Again on the AquaStim. We'll give it this one. So 11 for the AquaStim. There we go. Let's get the other rod in and I'll continue with the summary. We'll get this fish back. So like I was saying, nice fish to end on. And don't forget, if you have any questions about any of the techniques or anything that we've done today, don't hesitate to drop a comment in the comment section. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now's your last chance to do so. So hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell icon, because that way you're going to get notified every time I release a video. But yeah, lovely mirror to end on. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling. Also guys, don't forget, check out the link in the description. Get yourself some Westies Angling merch. You can get it through there, or you can send me a message on the Westies Angling Instagram or Facebook page, either or, and we'll get you sorted out.